Greetings. Today we continue our study in the book of Revelation. We're looking at the second part of Revelation 4:6 as we consider the further evidence of rapture. This is part 5, and it concerns the four living creatures or the four living creations. And in the midst of the throne and round about the throne were four beasts full of eyes before and behind. And the first beast was like a lion, and the second beast like a calf, and the third beast had the face as a man, and the fourth beast was like a flying eagle. And the four beasts each had one of them 6 wings about him, and they were full of eyes within. And they rest not day and night, saying, Holy, 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 Lord God Almighty, which was and is to come. And when those beasts give glory and honor and thanks to him that sat on the throne, who liveth forever and ever, the 24 elders fall down before him that sat on the throne and worship him that liveth forever and ever, and cast their crowns before the throne, saying, Thou art worthy, O Lord, to receive glory and honor and power. For thou hast created all things, and for thy pleasure they are and were created. The four living creatures concerns creation's ascription to God. The four living creations are the true heavenly things which were shown in the pattern to Moses in the mountain for the Old Testament tabernacle. There were 4 standards around the tabernacle in the wilderness. Judah's standard of the lion was on the east side of the tabernacle, according to Numbers chapter 2 and verse 2. Reuben's standard of the man was on the south side of the tabernacle, Numbers 2:10. Ephraim's standard of the ox was on the west side of the tabernacle, Numbers 2:18. Dan's standard of the eagle was on the north side of the tabernacle, Numbers 2:25. Now let's take notice of God's promise in Exodus 25:22. And there I will meet with thee, and I will commune with thee from above the mercy seat, from between the 2 cherubims which are upon the ark of the testimony, of all things which I give thee in commandment unto the children of Israel. The declarations of the fulfillment of this promise are many. 1 Samuel 4:4 says, So the people sent to Shiloh, that they might bring from thence the ark of the covenant of the Lord of hosts, which dwelleth between the cherubims. In 2 Samuel chapter 6 and verse 2 says, And David arose and went with all the people that were with him from Baal of Judah, to bring up from thence the ark of God, whose name is called by the name of the Lord of hosts, that dwelleth between the cherubims. In 2 Kings 19, in verse 15, it says, And Hezekiah prayed before the Lord, and said, O Lord God of Israel, which dwelleth between the cherubims, Thou art the God, even thou alone, of all the kingdoms of the earth. Thou hast made heaven and earth. 1 Chronicles 13 in verse 6. And David went up and all Jerusalem to Baal, that is Kirjath-jearim, which belonged to Judah, to bring up thence the ark of God the Lord, that dwelleth between the cherubims, whose name is called on it. Psalm 80 verse 1. Give ear, O shepherd of Israel, thou that leadest Joseph like a flock, that dwelleth between the cherubims, shine forth. Reference to the Shekinah glory. Psalm 99 verse 1, The Lord reigneth, let the people tremble. He sitteth between the cherubims, let the earth be moved. Finally, Isaiah 37 verse 16, O Lord of hosts, God of Israel, thou dwellest between the cherubims, thou art the God, even thou alone. Of all the kingdoms of the earth, thou hast made heaven and earth. Now, let's notice for a moment the designation living creations versus living souls. The nature of the living creatures was and is directly created sons of God. Matthew 22 and verse 30 says, "For in the resurrection they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels of God in heaven." Luke 20:36 says it this way, "Neither can they die any more, for they are equal unto the angels, and are the children of God, being the children of the resurrection." Therefore, these living creations are not disembodied human beings. They're not a pre-Adamic race. They're not a procreating species, but they are called a group of simultaneously created, non-corporeal, that is, without a body, spiritual beings. There is a different number of them, although that number may be incalculable by man. They are a defined, finite set of created beings, which are sometimes referred to as, quote, the heavenly host. Psalm 68 and verse 17, "The chariots of God are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them, as in Sinai, in the holy place." 20,000, that's twice infinity in the Hebrew language. Matthew 26 and verse 53, Jesus said, "Thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels?" That's 6,000 times 12, or 72,000, or 7.2 times infinity, as it were. Hebrews 12:22 says, "But ye are come unto Mount Zion, and unto the city of the living God, the heavenly Jerusalem, and to an innumerable company of angels." They announced the birth of the Messiah in Luke 2:13. "And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God and saying." They will be charged with carrying out God's judgment upon those upon the earth as we progress through this book of Revelation. The purpose of the living creations was and is to be ministering spirits, according to Hebrews chapter 1, verse 14. Are they not all ministering spirits, sent forth to minister for them who shall be the heirs of salvation? "And of the angels he saith," in Hebrews 1:7, "who maketh his angels spirits and his ministers a flame of fire." And finally, we'll conclude today with Hebrews 2:6, "For verily he took not on him the nature of angels, but he took on him the seed of Abraham." There's a contrast there. The nature of angels is different from the seed of Abraham.